What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a super exciting Liverpool transfer news update video, because it looks like Newcastle have opened the door for Liverpool to sign Alexander Isak. Liverpool are preparing a giant 135 million pound bid after Newcastle are set to sign Nick Woltemade, the Stuttgart striker, for 80 million euros plus another 10 million with add-ons. He will be more expensive than Hugo Ekitike, which absolutely blows my mind. And Nick Woltemade, what a transfer as well for Stuttgart. They signed him 1 year ago on a free transfer, and now they are selling him for potentially 70 million pounds with add-ons and bonuses. And this move has huge implications for Liverpool's hopes of signing Alexander Isak. That was confirmed by Craig Hope and Luke Edwards, two Newcastle journalists who maintained all summer that Isak is not for sale, that Isak is not leaving. Isak, with his meeting with the Saudi owners, he again reiterated that he won't play and he won't train with Newcastle before or after the transfer deadline day. So Newcastle really have little chance but to sell Alexander Isak if they can replace him. And Nick Woltemade is the Isak replacement, and they are also working on the Callum Wilson replacement, which could be Johan Wissa. Jürgen Strand Larsen, the Wolves striker, would have cost like almost as much, around 60 million pounds, and Woltemade will cost 65 to 70 million depending on how many bonuses are triggered. Craig Hope also confirmed that after signing Woltemade, Newcastle's striker search is not over, because they still want Johan Wissa. Johan Wissa has been not included in the Brentford squad, so he has pretty much frozen himself out. He wants really to go to Newcastle. So Newcastle, before transfer deadline, they could sign not one but two strikers. But this was the big one, because I think Johan Wissa alone wouldn't have been enough for Newcastle to sell Isak. But signing Woltemade for a huge amount of money, he is a similar profile to Alexander Isak, a couple of years younger. And Newcastle have privately insisted that they would need two strikers to be signed before selling Isak. But the arrival of Woltemade is a huge step closer to a British record deal of Isak going to Liverpool for 135 million pounds, and now Liverpool have to work tirelessly to get this deal over the line, because transfer deadline day is on Monday. And Craig Hope also revealed what happened between Isak and the PIF, the Saudi owners, because they visited Isak's home and they had showdown talks on Monday before the Newcastle-Liverpool game happened. This was a final play to convince Isak to come back into the Newcastle squad and to play for Newcastle and to stay at Newcastle, and it did not work. So this meeting was not at all positive from Newcastle's point of view. They tried absolutely everything to convince Isak to stay, but Isak's mind was already made up long ago. He wants Liverpool, and he only wants Liverpool. And I think Wolves are making the right decision not selling Strand Larsen to Newcastle, because they just don't have enough time to find a replacement, and Strand Larsen could be the difference between Wolves staying up in the Premier League and going down. Because even though they could get 40 million pounds of a profit on Strand Larsen, who they signed for 23 million from Celta Vigo last summer, the cost of relegation could be much higher. It could cost 100 million pounds and maybe even more. And Craig Hope is saying that Liverpool are expected to come back in with a second, even bigger offer of 135 million pounds for Alexander Isak, because Liverpool have not come this far and they haven't given so much encouragement to Isak's camp to now just abandon the whole transfer saga. Liverpool will keep pushing until the last hours. And Arne Slot also said that Eddie Howe is without a striker, with Anthony Gordon suspended, Isak not training, and Woltemade coming in, so that is huge for Newcastle. And Arne Slot also confirmed, without going into details, that Liverpool will keep pushing until the last hour of the transfer window to sign the right players for the right price who improve the Liverpool squad, because Arne Slot knows that the Liverpool squad is short at the moment. We are at least one attacker short and one centre-back short. And what is also very interesting is that Isak and Eddie Howe, the Newcastle manager, haven't spoken in a week, and Isak hasn't spoken to many of his teammates either. And Eddie Howe says that now his this decision is out of his hands. He wants Isak gone. He doesn't want a player who disrupts the dressing room harmony, who he keeps having to answer questions about Isak in every press conference. That's very tiring and exhausting for Eddie Howe, and it doesn't help team harmony at all. So Eddie Howe wants nothing to do with Isak, and now the decision is out of his hands. It's down to the Newcastle owners and the PIF to handle this Isak situation. But what is crucial, and I think what made Newcastle change their minds, is Isak maintains that he will not play for Newcastle again, even if Newcastle keep him against his will. He wants to go, and he basically threatened Newcastle that he will just sit in the stands or not even go near the stadium until January. So Newcastle will lose out on a lot of money if they don't sell Isak right now. And Luke Edwards, who maintained all summer that Newcastle are not selling Isak, he had a huge turn, he didn't change his mind, he changed his tune, basically, because this is what he said this morning. You can sense a change in the mood around Alexander Isak, the change in the music around Alexander Isak and Newcastle United, and a move to Liverpool for the first time looks like it could really happen. Of course, conditions still need to be met. Newcastle need to sign 2 strikers, not 1, and receive an acceptable bid, but the resolve to keep him has buckled. I was adamant all summer he would not be sold. That's what Luke Edwards said, but that was what everyone at Newcastle said, from PIF and downwards to the manager. If he goes, no matter how it is spun or dressed up, is a huge setback for Newcastle. Newcastle, we have done what they always said they wouldn't. Allowed Isak to join a domestic rival against their wishes for a fee which is lower than £150 million valuation. Because Liverpool are not going to offer 150 million. It would be weak, and it sets a dangerous precedent that will have ramifications way beyond this window if this happens. Of course, nothing is guaranteed yet, but this appears to be the direction of travel. So basically, Newcastle are resigned to the fact that if they don't sell Isak, they will lose out on a lot of money, and he thinks that other players might do what Isak has done. And it's all, the players are so powerful nowadays, because if they really want to move to another club, they will get it one way or another. They can go on strike, they cannot attend training, and I'm not saying it's the right way to go about things, but the big news is that already one of the 3 conditions have been met for Isak to join Liverpool, and that was for Newcastle to sign a big summer transfer target striker. And they have gone about signing Nick Woltemade behind the scenes, very quietly, so other clubs can't jump in. And Bayern Munich have fluffed their lines again. They had 3 bids rejected for Nick Woltemade. They even got 80 million euros rejected, but Newcastle offered 90 million euros with bonuses included, and Stuttgart were right to hold out. And now Bayern Munich missed out on Florian Wirtz and Nick Woltemade, 2 players who in previous years from smaller German clubs have always gone to Bayern Munich. It looks like Bayern Munich's power is dwindling in Germany. And now Liverpool need to match or get close to Newcastle's asking price, which is around 135 million pounds. They are never getting 150 million. And Newcastle also need to sign a second striker, but I think the Johan Wissa deal, after they complete the Nick Woltemade deal, the Johan Wissa deal can really happen, because it has been confirmed that Johan Wissa is not expected to be part of the Brentford squad at Sunderland tomorrow. He awaits progress on a move to Newcastle. Tottenham are still interested, but the player wants only Newcastle, who are closing the Nick Woltemade deal. And this really opens the door for Alexander Isak to get his dream move to Liverpool. It looks like Liverpool have a lot of business to sort out before the transfer in those shots. We also made a £40 million bid for Mark Guéhi, which I might talk about a little bit more in detail in tomorrow's video. But it looks like after Crystal Palace played their Conference League game and secured their qualification to the Conference League, league phase, Mark Guéhi is going to be sold, because Crystal Palace know that they will lose out on a lot of money if they don't sell Margay right now, and I think 40 million is a really sensible deal for a very, very experienced centre-back. But Tsimikas is in very close to joining Roma on loan. Harvey Elliott is subject to interest. It looks like Xavi Simons is going to Tottenham. What a signing to Tottenham. And that frees up a big starting 11 place at Leipzig for Harvey Elliott. And Leipzig are big fans of Harvey Elliott. So I think Liverpool will only let Harvey Elliott go if Isak joins. And also plenty of other young players are finalizing their loan moves, and probably there will be a bid coming in for Harvey Elliott during the weekend. And Margay discussions ongoing with Crystal Palace, and it looks like a British record transfer fee will be agreed with Newcastle for Alexander Isak. Absolutely crazy end to a fantastic transfer window by Liverpool. But we still need to sort these deals out. If we sign Margay and Alexander Isak, then this is an absolute 10 out of 10 perfect transfer window for Liverpool. And the Xavi Simons deal also is very good for Tottenham. They sign him for just 60 million euros, and they have him on a 5-year contract with an option for another 2 years. So if Xavi Simons plays a lot, and I think he will be a huge success, he might actually be an even better signing than Eberechi Eze at Arsenal. You know, Tottenham missing out on Eze and then ending up with Xavi Simons, that's not a bad deal, to be honest. I rate Eze highly, but I rate Xavi Simons very highly as well. It's tough to say who is the better player. Let's see who is better suited to the Premier League. I mean, Eze has been in the Premier League for a few years now, but Xavi Simons is also a really, really good player. Not world class, but like almost there. And now let's talk about Liverpool's Champions League draw, because Liverpool again got a very tough draw. Not the toughest in the whole Champions League phase, because that's Paris Saint-Germain. Have you seen Paris Saint-Germain's draw? That's absolutely crazy. But Liverpool have Real Madrid at home, Atletico Madrid at home, Marseille, PSV at home. PSV we lost to away, PSV at home, and Karabakh at home. So 4 tough home games, but PSV and Karabakh should be must-win games, and Atletico and Real Madrid at Anfield will be really, really great spectacles where I expect Liverpool to win. But the away games are very, very difficult. Inter away, Frankfurt away. Frankfurt finished 3rd in the Bundesliga, and yes, Ekitike was sold to Liverpool by Frankfurt, so he meets his former club. And Trent Alexander-Arnold coming back to Anfield, I bet he will get injured before the game, so he doesn't have to play. Because if he plays at Anfield, then he can expect absolute hell. And this is why I maintain that Trent Alexander saying, I'm not going to a direct rival, I'm going to Spain, to Real Madrid, that was total rubbish. Real Madrid are a direct rival to Liverpool. How many times we have met them in the Champions League? They are a direct rival in Europe for Liverpool, one of Liverpool's biggest rivals in Europe. And Trent Alexander-Arnold, who joined the dark side, as I call Real Madrid, and now he's coming back to Anfield. It was just written in the stars. So that is going to be a big storyline as well. But yeah, Inter away, Frankfurt away, and then Marseille and Galatasaray away. I actually fear for the safety of the Liverpool fans, because Marseille and Galatasaray fans are some of the most vicious, notorious fans. Not all of them, but the ultras and the really, really hardcore group of Marseille and Galatasaray fans. There could be some real violence around those fixtures. I really hope not, and I hope that the Liverpool fans will be safe, but those are not safe away trips. I wouldn't go to Marseille or Galatasaray as a Liverpool fan, let me say it like that. And Christian Falk is also reporting that a loan deal is discussed for Harvey Elliott to Leipzig by Liverpool with a purchase option. That's under discussion. So Leipzig want to take Harvey Elliott on loan with an option to buy him. I think that is actually a good deal, because if Harvey Elliott succeeds and smashes it in the Bundesliga, then he can go there on a permanent transfer. If he doesn't set the world right, he maybe can come back to Liverpool with some more experiences and get playing to Liverpool again. But Liverpool will look to resist any late move for Harvey Elliott, because Arne Slot sees Harvey Elliott's versatility and quality as important. Because if Liverpool want to compete in all 4 competitions, and with the Africa Cup of Nations coming up in January. Salah will be away for 5 to 6 Premier League games. Harvey Elliott can play on the right wing and as an attacking midfielder, and Frimpong can play on the right wing as well. But we don't have an out-and-out right winger apart from Chiesa, who is of course not as high quality as Salah. Let me know what you think about everything that we talked about in the comments below, and thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a nice day. See you later, guys. Goodbye.